Hey, good morning. Me and Valkyrie want to say hi to you on this beautiful Monday morning. This is my beautiful Belgian Malinois. And for those of you that want puppies, let me know because we are pretty sure that this beautiful dog is pregnant and probably going to be having some boxer pit Belgian Malinois puppies here in just a little over a month, ain't you? Ain't you, pretty girl? Yeah. This right here is my sweet dog, Valkyrie. Never had a dog that imprinted on me like she does. You guys don't always know it, but whenever I'm doing my live stream, she's literally laying by my side. If I were to get up right now and walk over to another room of the house, she's following me. If I go outside, she's going outside. So, anyways, I just thought be a cute little way to start the show this beautiful Monday morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope you guys are all doing fantastic. I see Dave P in the house and Mr. Eric Bernstein. Man, I don't remember the last time I was on a stream and I didn't see the two of you. Glad you guys are here. Excited for today's show. It's going to be a shorter show. Unfortunately, we had a little catastrophe a few days ago. The two puppies, unfortunately, they're about a year old. They've been living with all of our cats the whole time that they've been with us. But something happened and they got overly excited. Their prey drive kicked in, and one of the cats that was actually a kitten when they were puppies, this was a kitten, and they would roll around and play. We always thought it was the funniest thing. This cat would roll around and play with the puppies, and it was almost, we joked and said that Rambo was more like a dog than a cat. But anyway, something triggered him, and unfortunately, they attacked him. And man, it was remember a couple of weeks ago when I had that crazy situation, and the dogs kind of went after a cat, but I didn't. It just sounded a whole lot more like a bunch of noise, and than anything serious. And in that particular instance, the cat, jumped up and kind of got out of the way, and it turned into not a big deal. And unfortunately, I didn't take it serious enough because it ended up happening again. And this time they actually got a hold of the cat, and they did about $1,500 worth of damage. Had to literally made a phone call, took him to the vet immediately, took him to the vet, and $1,500 later and a bunch of stitches and stuff, we got him fixed. And now we're walking around on eggshells a little bit in our own house. We haven't decided exactly how we're going to handle the situation permanently. But long story short, that cat Rambo has a veterinarian appointment. Got to go in. There's literally a tube in one of the areas on his back hind end where they stitched him up. They left a tube in it so that it could drain properly, and we got to go get that tube drained this morning. Having said all that, I want to give you guys a little bit of value for sure this morning. Remember what this is. What is this year? Anybody care to type in the chat what 2026 is? What is the theme of 2026? Anybody? Man, give me 1 second, guys, while you guys remind us, everybody, of what the theme is for 2026. I'm going to grab a bottle of water. I am dying of thirst over here. All right, you guys must all be driving or something. Nothing in the chat. Well, I'll remind you, 2026 is the year of passive income. We are in a day and age where it has never been easier to create passive income, to create freedom money. That's what this channel is all about, right? Freedom money. And one of the big reasons that we're talking about passive income and freedom money is because most everybody watching this channel is trying to create some wealth in their life through cryptocurrency investing. And, as found, that can be a daunting task. And crypto doesn't necessarily follow our timeline. Crypto doesn't care what we want it to do. And so I believe that it's important for us to take more control over our financial freedom number. And I've talked about the fact that, having a $5,000 a month income stream equals the same amount of power as somebody who's got $1 million saved up in the bank that's earning 6% interest. That's earning, $60,000 a year on $1 million. That having a $5,000 monthly income stream is just as powerful. 60,000 bucks divided by 12 is $5,000 a month. So if you have $1 million in the bank earning you 6% interest, or if you have passive income that's coming in every month that is earning you, $5,000 a month, you have the same buying power, at least on a monthly basis. Obviously, I will concede that the guy with the $1 million has, $1 million in emergency. Something came up, he could go, use a couple 100,000 of that or something for life. At the same time, as soon as he starts digging into the original million, he doesn't have it anymore, and his $60,000 a year in earning power, goes away. Where theoretically, if you build up your passive income stream correctly, you can spend it and never have to worry about it going away. Myron Golden wrote the book. In fact, I had it right here. I think I showed it to you guys a couple of weeks ago. I've been reading, or have finished reading, this book right here, From the Trash Man to the Cash Man, How Anyone Can Get Rich Starting from Anywhere. This is a little 140-page book, and it's not a real, it's not a very big book. It's not thick. It's got pretty big font. And long story short, it didn't take me very long to read this book, but this book was written 20 years ago. This book was written back in 2006. And last year, this book made him $81,000. Pretty crazy, huh? Wrote this book one time 20 years ago, and it paid him $81,000 in 2025 from his book sales. That's over $5,000 a month. So that one book has made him over, $1 million on paper, has made him more money than a guy that's got $1 million saved up and in the bank earning 6% interest on it. And who do you think worked harder? Who do you think worked harder? The guy that worked, 20, 30, 40 years of his life to get the $1 million built up, or Myron that probably took a few months, maybe a year if he really took a lot of time. But I don't think, this is an incredible book. Don't get me wrong. I love it. It's got some amazing principles in it. I'm pretty sure that Myron, it didn't take him more than a few months probably to write this book. And yet it's paying him $81,000 a year 20 years later. So I think we all understand, and I've got you guys pretty much on board to the fact that creating some passive income is an amazing way to buy back some of your time. Because one of the things that is really, I keep getting slapped across the face with how important our time is. Most of us never ever think about how valuable our time is, or we wouldn't go sell it to an employer for 15 or 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 bucks an hour. I know that some of you have some very high paying, have high paying careers, and I'm not dogging on that, but I think if you realized how valuable your time was, that nobody would even be able to pay you $100 an hour for your time. And one of the things, awareness is half of the battle. If you're sitting there, most people that have a job, I've got lots of friends and family that have a job. I'm not going to name names, but let's just say I've got one person that I know that is, making around 20 bucks an hour, and, and they're not super happy, but it's getting them by, younger person, and, everything's okay. But their mindset isn't to make their 20 bucks an hour and then figure out how to create passive income and buy their freedom back. No, when they want to make more money, what do? They try to find a higher paying job. And guys, I want to hopefully help you get out of that mindset. Job, JOB, stands for just over broke. Most jobs pay you just enough so that you won't quit, and most employees work just hard enough to where you won't fire them. So guys, a job is a great place to start, but I really want you hyper focused in 2026 on creating passive income and getting yourself out of the rat race. And I know that all of you have different skills, different mindsets. Not all of you are cut out to go out and be a full-blown entrepreneur and like own a business. I think that owning a business is an incredible way to create some freedom in your life. Now, get me wrong. I don't want you to be owned by a business. I don't want you to be owned by your business. There's a lot of people that think that owning a business is different than having a job, but that's not totally true. And I'll give you an example. Let's say that you work for a accounting company. You went to school, you help people with their taxes, you work for an accounting company, and you get tired of working. Somebody else is the owner. Somebody else tells you when you can come to work, when you can leave. They tell you, hey, you can't take any vacations from January to April because that's our busy season. They have you under their thumb. And so you come up with this great idea. Hey, I'm going to just go out on my own, and I'm going to be my own boss. I'm going to own my own accounting company. So you go out and you start, Varnell Accounting, or in your case, it would be your name, but let's say I go out and start Varnell Accounting, and I started letting everybody that I know, hey, I'm an accountant, I can help you with your taxes. And before you know it, I've got a bunch of people that are coming to me. I'm doing everybody's taxes. I'm making more money because I don't have the boss just telling me what I was worth. I'm able to make more money. It all seems fine and dandy, but guess what I just did? All I did was go from working for somebody else to creating a job for myself. I have all of the headaches. I have to deal with customer service. I got to deal with all of the unhappy customers. I have to do all of the billing, all the accounts receivable. I probably had to, if I really want to do it right and be professional, I don't want clients coming to my house. So I went and, bought a little office, leased an office and set it up, and needed, a desk and a computer. And I say all of that to say that at the end of the day, you might make a little bit more money, but you probably went from working 8 hours a day on your job to working 12 or 16 in your business, and you still don't have any freedom. You're still not in a position where if you want to just, decide, hey, I'm going to go to the Bahamas and go to my favorite place in the world, Exuma, Bahamas, and I'm going to go there for a month. You can't do it because your income stops. So that's not owning a business. My dad owned a tree work and landscaping business, but guess who the guy was when somebody had a tree that was, a dangerous tree that was sitting, growing up close to a house and shrubbery and landscaping. Guess who the guy was that climbed that tree that had the skill? It was my dad. And I'm not putting him down. I love him. That business made him a lot of money compared to being an employee, but he definitely still basically owned a job. So hopefully I beat that to death enough. But there's a huge difference between owning a job, owning a business. Now, an accountant who goes out and builds an accounting firm and hires a bunch of other accountants and hires somebody to run the books and has secretaries and has a business like, for instance, like H&R Block. They have offices all over the country. I don't know if they're still in business, but all of you have probably heard of H&R Block. Those guys that are at the top of it own a company. They're multi millionaires, and they've got all of these locations that are running without them. Probably most of the people that own an H&R Block franchise or work inside of H&R Block, they might not have ever met the founders. I don't even know who the founders are, but my guess is they've never even met the founders of H&R Block. H&R Block founders are multimillionaires or billionaires and have the time for them. They're out on their yacht on Wednesday afternoon with their wife and their kids, ski doing and boating and having fun in the sun, drinking virgin pina coladas and having amazing food, while everybody here is back in the States working at the H&R Block. There's a huge difference between, being an employee and owning a business and actually, being owned by a business. So don't get that mixed up. You don't want to be owned by a business. Even this YouTube channel, part of the reason that I enjoy it and that I like it is because I literally have about 2 hours a week that is totally committed to this YouTube channel. If this was something where I needed to do this, say, 2 or 3 times a day for an hour a time and 5-6 days a week, I probably wouldn't be a YouTuber. If that's what required to have a YouTube channel, it wouldn't be my cup of tea. I don't want to have to be tied down 3 times a day, even though you say, well, most people are working 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day. Yeah, I like to do my work too. I'm working a lot more than these 2 hours, but I work when I want to. Like when I get done with this, I'm going to have a cat that I'm taking to the vet. I don't have to ask anybody for permission. I'm going to go on an exercise. I'm going to go do 45 minutes of exercise for my 75 hard. And I get to do that with my wife. My wife gets to be there with me. We're going to go to Dutch Bros. We didn't get that done today before coffee. We're going to go to Dutch Bros and enjoy some coffee. And I don't have to, have anybody's permission to do that. Hey, good morning, Sean Cryptune 5. Good to see you. Hope you are doing fantastic. So on that note, guys, I want you all to come up with your own ways. But something that I'm thinking about doing is like trying to create some kind of a accountability group, if you will, where those of you that watch these videos and are really serious about making this happen, we all get together and kind of help each other rather than just listening to my voice drone on for a half an hour or an hour, a day for a couple of days a week. I would love for us to get into a bit of an accountability group where 3, 4, 5, 6 of us that are really serious about this freedom thing get together and come up with new ways and different ideas on how we can do it. Now, you might, Dave P might have an incredible idea to help himself create some passive income and some freedom. I'm not saying that me and, if you, Sean and Eric, like if we were all in a group, I'm not saying that Dave P comes to the group and we all, jump on the bandwagon and do whatever Dave P is doing. But if Dave P's got an idea and he's trying to create some financial freedom in his life through it, I think that having me and Eric and Sean and 4 or 5 guys that are all focused on the same thing, taking a look at what Dave has come up with could be extremely valuable to Dave. And we might have some incredible ideas to help him. And who knows, if it's a good enough idea, maybe some of us do decide to do what he's doing too. But my point is, it's not necessarily about copying each other and doing what each other is doing, just more so having a group of people that's like-minded, that's trying to do the same thing that you're doing, and that is there to support you. If you have a bad day, you get crushed off, nothing goes well, you got 4, 5, 10 guys that you can, text and say, hey man, I'm having a horrible day. Everything that I'm trying to do with this new passive income stream isn't working. And you got guys there that understand what you're going through and can be a rock for you. And like I said, and come up and help you with ideas. You might have an idea that's 95% of the way there, but that last 5% is so critical. But unfortunately, you can't see the forest through the trees, so you don't see that 5%. But you've got 6, 7, 8 guys looking at your situation and trying to help you with that 5%. And the next thing you know, somebody has a breakthrough and comes up with the missing piece of the puzzle. So that's something that I think would be wonderful for us to work on. It's going to be, I don't know when. I think it's going to happen here in the relatively near future if there's enough interest. Guys, let me just ask you. One of the things that I'm starting to do and trying to do more of is I want to talk about things that you care about. I want to work like I'm assuming, which I shouldn't. Sometimes I just assume you guys are here listening to me, that you must want to create passive income and create financial freedom in your life. That's an assumption, but I don't know for sure. So let me ask you, for those of you that are watching and that are brave enough to put a 1 in the chat, like, is creating this financial freedom, these income streams, actually something that you're really interested in? Do you enjoy a Zoom or, a YouTube video like today's that's talking about creating passive income and creating, financial freedom and income streams? And would you be interested in being in a group? And I mentioned the guys because I know it's a lot of guys, but if you're a woman or, a lady that owns a business or is entrepreneurial, you obviously, can raise your hand, put a 1 in the chat too. But is that even something that you guys are interested in? Like, if we could create a little group of 5, 6, 10 people that are all working really hard to create some financial freedom in their life, is that something that you guys would even be interested in? Throw a 1 in the chat. So WLow94 says yes. It looks like Sean Crypto says yes. Dave's a 1. So guys, let's work on that. Let's figure out something on a Monday night or Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, some time of the day every week that we can get together. And it might start off with 3 or 4 of us, but we can get together 3, 4, 5 people and run ideas past each other and be helpful. One of the other things that we can do that really would benefit each other is, just the, sorry. Hey, Josh, can you get Murdoch, please? Usually if he's barking there, just run right in. Here we go. Sorry, guys, got distracted by a dog barking outside. But I think that we can find some great people. Well, I know what I was going to say, that a lot of people never get the success that they deserve because they're afraid to ask for help. And so one of the cool things about having a group of people where we're all rolling and growing towards the same things is it makes it a lot easier to ask for help. Have you ever, like, I know some people were like, hey man, any way that you could introduce me to Ed Milet? Sometimes that could feel like a tough conversation. Like, I think, I really want to meet Ed Milet. He's one of my heroes. But like, let's just say that Ed Milet was a person that knew something about a particular type of business that I knew would help me, but I was nervous I don't know how to get in touch with Ed Milet and ask him this question myself. But I know a gentleman named David Meltzer who's friends with Ed Milet. But even then, sometimes it can be uncomfortable saying, hey, David, is there any way that you can get me introduced to Ed Milet? Is there any way you can get a 5-minute phone call with me with Ed? Asking for favors like that, asking for help can be tough, especially on us guys. It's a running joke, that, guys don't want to ask for directions and they'll drive around lost for 3 or 4 hours when they could have just stopped and got directions and figured it out in 5 minutes and stuff. But it is, guys, sometimes we have trouble asking for help. And so a group like this, where you get to know and become good friends with the people that you are, dealing with can be really beneficial from about 47 different ways. So now that I know that there's definitely some interest, I'll work on seeing, what we can do, guys. I don't know, W Low, your name doesn't ring a bell with me. But I would love to have you reach out to me on Telegram, or Telegram's one of the best ways. You can also, guys, like, here, let me throw this up here. This isn't really related to what we're talking about, but this phone number is in play now. I have quite a few people that have texted me asking more information about Texit Coin. So, W Low, Sean Cryptoon, and anybody else watching this channel, please feel free to text me at the number, and maybe just text me the word mastermind. So if you are interested in becoming a part of a small group of people that want to create financial freedom by creating passive income streams in your life, then, shoot me a text here at this number. You can also message me on Telegram, but I'm happy to orchestrate this, help it, get the nucleus of it together and see what we can come up with. I definitely believe in the old adage, team together, everyone achieves more. So I would be thrilled to put something that together. So once again, guys, if you're on here and you would like to be a part of that mastermind, text me here at 725-275-8259 with the word mastermind, and I'll get together with 5 or 6 of you, and we'll see if we figure out a time that we're all willing to commit to once a week, where we get on a call once a week, once every 2 weeks, whatever is going to make the most sense, but no less than once every 2 weeks. I think once a week is better, but anyways, we'll get a time together and we'll really start working on this. So that's awesome. I'm glad to see that there's a handful of you that would like to be a part of that. So let's definitely connect in the near future. And then with that, guys, I had this Trusted Smart Chain logo here up for the day. I was going to say, this is one of the passive income plays. So I haven't really been trying very hard to talk you guys into doing the things that I am doing. But I did want to mention Trusted Smart Chain. You guys can look it up. I'm going to share my screen here for a second. Let's pull this, add this to the stage. So T7X here is the Trusted Smart Chain exchange. We can see here, this is the Trusted Smart Chain token right now. It's selling for about $32, $28 to $32. This is where I get the liquidity for my Trusted Smart Chain tokens. And I've mentioned to you guys, that I started buying these nodes back in October. I got 5 nodes for myself, and I got 2, one each for my children. And so you can see here, the 500 represents 5 nodes. And you can see here, it doesn't sound like a ton, but I'm getting about 3/4 of a token a day. And the tokens right now are about $30. So what's 75% of a 30? $22.50. So $22.50 times $30. Right now, these things have, been, if I wanted to sell the tokens, they have been, worth about $600 a month. Now, full disclosure, past performance doesn't equal, future performance. The price of the token can go up, it can go down, it can go to zero. You could lose all of your money. Like, all investing is risky. But what I would like for you guys to do, and I've got a video, once again, like if you're watching this and you want more information, text that phone number that was just on the screen, or hit me up on Telegram, and I will send you some information. Because one of the things that I'm super excited about when it comes to the Trusted Smart Chain is this is a real world asset tokenization company. They have gone out and found dozens of companies that want to go public. I got to stop for a second here. Mr. Pablo Noodles, good morning, brother. I hope you are doing good, my friend. It's been a long time. Get emotional just seeing you on here, man. I love you, man. I hope you're doing good. I'm praying for you, and just, man, excited to see you on here. Glad that you could hop on, even if it's just for a quick minute. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you are doing fantastic. My heart is definitely with you, brother. I think about you all the time, come across our different conversations about different things, and definitely excited to see you here for a quick moment. But guys, I think that all of us that are in the cryptocurrency space understand that real world asset tokenization is an avalanche of opportunity that is coming into play, that over the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years, a huge portion, if not almost all of the world, is going to become tokenized. And so the thing that intrigued me about Trusted Smart Chain, and I'm going to make this quick, but I had people come to me and talk to me about this company for over a year. I told all of them no. I got on a Zoom with the owner. Billy Beach is one of the owners. I got on a Zoom with him way back. I want to say it was still in 2024. It might have been early 2025, but I told him no, I wasn't interested. And then I kept getting bugged. And I had one really good friend that I really trusted, a gentleman named Scotty Merker, that just wouldn't leave me alone about these Trusted Smart Chain nodes. And he finally got my attention when he talked about the fact, excuse me, that these things have the same tokenomics as Bitcoin. They copied it on purpose for a lot of good reasons, but there's only 1 million tokens ever going to be in existence, so it's scarce. It halves every 4 years. It halves, but they also created a ton of utility. In my opinion, they have more utility actually than Bitcoin does. When you really think about Bitcoin doesn't have a whole lot of utility, except for the fact that it's honest money, that it's a solid asset, that it's like buying silver and gold. It's finite. So there's no more than 21 million Bitcoins can ever be in circulation. They create scarcity with the halving of the Bitcoin. But really the reason that Bitcoin has utility is because we say it does. If nobody wanted to buy the Bitcoin, it would have just faded into irrelevance. Now, once again, I'm not putting Bitcoin down. I love Bitcoin and I love what it stands for and I love what it does. But this company has similar tokenomics, but it's got forced utility. So it has these companies that want to go public and they're raising funds. These companies are going to be launching at around $50 million valuations, but they're going to be tokenized. Instead of having stock, they're going to be tokenized. And they have investors. They have people that are raising the $50 million that they're raising the $50 million through, similar to like a stock IPO. And right in the contract for those people, they have to pay out these people a dividend. I think it varies a little bit. I'm still learning all of the details on the utility, but I want to say the number is about 10%. So if this company is worth, $50 million, they have to pay these people out a 10% dividend for the first few years. And that creates a lot of pressure because in order to pay out the dividend, the way that it works is they have to buy the Trusted Smart Chain token and then they give that to their investors. That is the dividend that their investors get. Well, when I first saw that, I was like, okay, well, that's great. That creates a lot of buy pressure. But what about the sell pressure? Because now you have all of these people with these Trusted Smart Chain tokens and they're going to want to sell them and get their money back. But there's a big, huge education process going on too. So what these investors are doing when they're being somewhat told about trusted smart chain, kind of like I'm telling you, probably much more professionally. But imagine that you get this dividend and the token is at 50 bucks. But while you're getting the dividend and while things are happening, you're being taught about this project, and you know that there's another 25, 50, 100 companies lined up that are going to do this same thing. And that all of those companies are going to have to buy a trusted smart chain at market price. They're going to have to buy it on the market. And your $50 token has the potential. Once again, guys, financial disclaimer, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you that this is going to happen, but it has the possibility. We all know that Bitcoin, $100,000 token at one point in time in its life. Same tokenomics with trusted smart chain. Could it be 100,000? It could be. It's possible. Can it be a 500 or a 1,000 or a $10,000 token? In my opinion, I believe yes. So you got these guys that got this token at $50. Some of them are going to sell for sure, but there's also going to be a serious portion of these investors that I believe are going to hold because they've got this token that they can sell today for 50. But as these other companies launch and have to go buy up the trusted smart chain token, and there's hundreds of millions of dollars in forced buy pressure, and this token goes up to $500, $5,000, $10,000, there's a lot of people that are going to hold their token. So in my opinion, way more financial buy pressure than there's going to be sell pressure. This company also won a Blockchain of the Year award. I don't remember, once again, the government agency or who the prestigious agency was that awarded them that, but it was in Washington, D.C. It was a formal ceremony in Washington, D.C. They've got pictures of, getting this award. I think it was like on the memorial steps there in Washington, D.C. This is a very compliant blockchain, one of the most compliant blockchains that I've ever seen. Totally compliant with the SEC. They have all of the I's and T's, all of the I's dotted and the T's crossed. So I talked longer about this, but my point was, guys, I've been talking about this project kind of nonchalantly for months and months and months. And you know how many of you have reached out to me and said, hey, I want to get some serious information on these trusted smart chain nodes? One of you. In fact, that person went out and they were doing a promotion where if you bought 3, you got a 4th node free. That person went out last Friday and bought 3 trusted smart chain nodes, and now they have 4. And I'm not going to mention any names, but you would recognize their name on here. They're definitely, I met them through the YouTube channel. They're definitely in these live streams. But one of you. And so once again, I don't want to push my passive income ideas onto you. I want you guys to come up with your own, but I do feel like I have some pretty good ones that I can share with you, but I want you guys to reach out and express an interest. There's a lot of times with a lot of you that I've sent you texts, I've sent you messages, I've showed, gave you information out of the blue that you didn't necessarily ask for. And I'm kind of tired of doing that. You guys need to come to me and just say, hey, I'd like more information about trusted smart chain or whatever it is that I'm talking about. That's why the phone number is there. That's why I've got Telegram. So please don't hesitate. If anything that I said today is interesting to you and you want to, I can send you a Zoom presentation that goes into the details about all of the stuff that I've been talking to much more professionally and in way better detail, 45 minutes longer, something like that. So if you would like more information on trusted smart chain, shoot me once again, shoot me a text. And we'll get it going. Give me a text here if you're interested at all about maybe creating a passive income stream with the trusted smart chain. Once again, here 725-275-8259. And then last but not least, guys, let me get rid of this. The last thing that I want to talk about here real quick is a new platform that I started investing in just a few short weeks ago. This platform is, in my opinion, pretty amazing. And I'm going to just preface this with, guys, you don't understand how many projects come my way. Especially for whatever reason, the last month or two, I've just been inundated with some crazy Ponzi schemes, for lack of a better term. Like, I just keep getting hit up by all of these crazy platforms that are promising, 5% a day, 3% a day. In fact, I tried one out because I came across a guy that sold some Texit coin miners to me off market, just one-on-one transfer of some miners. And he wanted me to take some of the money that I was paying him for the miners and put it into this platform. And I looked at the platform. It was called AIIS. It's now defunct. It went under. But I looked at this platform and I came back to him and I said, man, that thing is a Ponzi scheme. Like, there's no way that that is legitimate. And he argued with me a little bit. I think it was more out of being naive. He just didn't understand. He'd been a part of this program for a few months and it had been paying him and everything was going well with it. I told him I wouldn't touch that thing with a 10-foot pole with my own money. But if you want me to put a little bit of the money I was going to pay you into it, I'll try it out. And I know that his hope was that I would try it out and that it would go well and that maybe I would start referring people to it. But I knew right from the beginning that that was near impossible. There was no way I was ever going to feel comfortable enough about that platform to share it with you guys. So I say all of that just to tell you guys, like, I've got 6 or 7 or 8. I don't even want to name them, because if I name them, you guys will go start looking into them. And maybe some of you will end up losing money, even though I told you not to do it. So I'm not even going to give you the names. Some of you guys probably are hearing about them anyways, but I literally had 5, 6, 7 different Ponzi schemes come across my plate where you buy a bot. Say like one of them was like you pay $1,500 to rent this AI trading bot, and it paid $43.50 a day for 30 days. And you can withdraw your $43.50 every single day. And I mean, like, it's just crazy to me, but 100% a Ponzi scheme. That's, it's offering 100% a month in returns, basically. Long story short, you guys have never heard about that one because I never shared it with you, and I wouldn't. But something came across my desk a few weeks ago that I got excited. The owner of this company literally opened up his Binance account, and he's got 5,500 Binance staked, because in order to be at the highest level of their trading tiers, the S9, I think it is, which gives you like 0.00000% fees, you have to have 5,500 BNB staked. And he also has over $100 million in his trading account. Now, you guys can see here, I've got $441 actively trading. Nothing crazy. You can start with as little as 100. You can go all the way up to as much as you want. I know of a couple of people, one gentleman that has $1 million on the platform, another person that has 100,000. I have several of my close friends that have put in 2,000 to 2,500. I'm working my way up to it. I just literally last week, just a few days ago, I had that $1,500 vet bill hit me, and I've had some life going on. So I don't have as much in the account as I want. I will preface this. If what I'm saying here is interesting to you and you text me and want more information, I do want you guys to know, like, all investing is risky. This company has asset protection. There's basically a policy, a safeguard in place for our funds. if somehow the Binance account got hacked and funds drained from it, if somehow the owner of the company were to try to run off with all of the money. Like, I'm not telling you that there's not a little bit of risk involved, but I am telling you all of the due diligence and everything that I've done leads me to believe that this is a good place for me to try to grow some of my funds. And so one of the things that I want to show you here on the trading transparency is so we can actually see here this week, the profit right now is, it looks like minus just a little under 1%. You can actually see this is the live trading feed. So this trading platform makes 10 to 25,000 trades a day in and out of the market fast. Most of these trades are being done in seconds, not minutes, not even hours, but like literally seconds. Like you can see here, they bought Bitcoin at 70,780. They sold it at 70,747. All these red are losing trades. So that's one of the reasons that I actually trust this platform, is they're not telling us, hey, you are guaranteed to make X amount of money every single day. You know, like give us your 1,500 and you're going to make $40 a day. They're not telling us that. But what I will say is this is a little bit lower because it just started last week. I made 4.64% on my money. This platform over the last 18 months has averaged 22%. Now you can see here, profits over the last 30 days is only 9.83%. But they've had some months that were 25, 35, 40%. They've had some months that were only, 8 or 9%. So the profits vary every week. They don't just, everything is transparent. So I know that I'm at a tier where I split the profits. I'm at a tier where I get 50-50. So if they earn me $100 in trading profits, they get $50. I get $50. As you move up, when I get to 500, I think I showed you guys I'm at 4 something. When I get to 500, which I'm going to do today, when I get to 500 on the platform, it goes to a 60-40 split. When I get to 2,000 on the platform, it goes down to a 65-35 split in my favor, all the way up to an 80-20 split as you grow your account. And once again, guys, you may or may not be interested in this platform, but one of the things that I like about it, if we go here, say like for the 1 year, this is the 1 year chart. It's up 510% for the year. So that's 5x. We're not talking about some crazy Ponzi get rich quick scheme. 5x in a year, though, is still absolutely tremendous. And guess what? With a platform like this, it trades while crypto's going up. It trades while crypto's going down. We can see over the last month, 9.83%. That's not world beaten by any means. But I guarantee you that every single one of us that owns crypto, we didn't make going on 10% on our crypto portfolio last month. Most of us probably lost 20, 30, 40% on our crypto portfolio last month. Once again, this is not designed to be the answer to everything. So as you guys know, I've got my Texit miners, my Texit coin miners. I've got my trusted smart chain nodes. Now I'm building up an account here with this platform. But I just kind of wanted to show some of the transparency, and one of the reasons why this was something that I believed in enough to actually share with you guys and let you make your own decision. I'm not here to tell you you should or shouldn't, but I would recommend texting me and at least saying, hey, Brad, send me the Zoom where, Felix opens up his Binance account and they go over all of the details and they show you, this chart doesn't show you the month by month, but there's, like I said, you can see for the last 18 months, like say, August of 2024 12%. September of 2024, 27%. October of 2024, 8.6%. November of 2024, 40%. Like, I think that was a really good month back. I think that was one of the good months, like way back, when, during the election and all of that. But you can see the 39% month. Are you kidding me, Murdoch? The 20% months, the 8% months, and so on and so forth. And like I said, over the course of the last 18 months, if it's averaged out to 22% a month. One of the other things that I think is really cool here, guys, go back to my dashboard, is you can automatically compound your earnings. So one of the ways that you can grow your account without having to be putting more and more money into it is just by automatically compounding your investment. And can you just imagine if you're earning, 22% a month, even if you're at the 50-50 so you're earning 11% on your money, that means you would double your money, about every 6 to 7 months. If you get up to, say, the $2,000 level where you've got a 65-35 split, so 65% of 20% is 13, call it, 14% total. At 14%, you're going to compound your money and double your money about every, 4 or 5 months or so. You're going to double your money. And that's if you don't put any more money into the platform, where most people are going to kind of, set it and forget it, but they're going to throw another 100 at it here, another 100 at it there, so on and so forth. Anyways, I don't want to talk about it too much anymore, but this is another passive income play. I get this up to, say, my, $2,000, 22% of $2,000 is what, $440. Even if, at that point I only get 65%, 60% of 400 is 240. So call it about a $250 a month passive income stream. At $250 a month on a $2,000 investment, 250 times 12 is what, 25, $3,000. So if it averages 22% a month and I've got 2,000 in there, then I would literally turn a $2,000 investment into $5,000 in the course of a year. And that's if I didn't do any compounding. I'm planning on taking a percentage of my profits and compounding them, take a percentage of my profits and just withdraw them off the account. Something else that I think is pretty cool, like your balance here. So your profits go over into your balance every single week. Those can be withdrawn, no penalty. You can withdraw your profits, your balance over here at any time you want. It has to be $50, and they do charge like the Ethereum gas fee. So you're going to pay, $1 or $2 in a fee, but it's not a percentage. You're not paying a 10% or a 20% withdrawal fee. The money that you put into your active trading account, that does have to stay there, but it's not locked. So if I needed this $441 today, I could go withdraw it right now, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I can withdraw it to my MetaMask account. There is a 10% penalty during the first year that the money is in the platform. So I would only get 400 of this 441 if I wanted to withdraw it immediately. But I think that's pretty darn fair too. Most of these companies lock your money for a year and you can't get it back even if you needed it. So, I get this account up to 2,000 and then 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 10,000. And at some point in time, a big expense comes up and I want to pull out a few grand. Yeah, it's going to cost me 10%, but it's not really costing me out of my principal. I'm taking a little percentage of what I've earned over the months. In your second year, any money that's been there for over a year, you only lose 5% when you withdraw it. And after 2 years of the money being on the platform, you can withdraw 100% of your money anytime for free. So that was something else that was very important to me. A lot of these companies, have all sorts of crazy rules. You can only withdraw funds on Fridays from whatever, 2 to 2. You can't withdraw money on the weekends. You can't do this, you can't do that. Once again, like the other platform I was talking about was 20% withdrawal fee. So you build up a couple $100 in profit, and then you go to pull it out and they want you to pay them $40 of the 200, just crazy stuff like that. This is all very, very fair and reasonable in my opinion. So once again, if you would like some more information and it's about a 1 hour Zoom that I really like to share with people to give you all of the details. You can see Felix open up his Binance account. You can see the live trading. You can see everything about the platform. And there's about 15, 20 minutes on the front side that you could probably watch at 2x speed or fast forward through. And then really there's about 20 to 30 minutes of the real meat and potatoes. So you can probably whoop this Zoom out in more like 30 minutes if you watch it on, 2x speed through the stuff that isn't as important, and then just focus on the 15, 20 minutes of the real key stuff. So if you want that Zoom, same thing, message me on Telegram, shoot me a text here on the Infinite Crypto phone. I got the Infinite Crypto phone sitting right here. See, has anybody texted me yet today? Anybody watching texted me? Nope. See, none of you guys have texted me yet. What are you waiting for? Anyways, guys, once again, these platforms might not be your cup of tea. This might not be how you want to create your passive income. I'm looking forward to helping you in whatever way. If you want to write a book, we'll help you write a book. If you want to create music, you guys realize you can create music and get paid royalties for producing music and singing songs and stuff like that. If you're artistic and you've got a voice, there's ways, you don't need permission to be a singer anymore. 30, 40 years ago, there was a, what's the word for it? Hierarchy that you had to go through. If the right people in the music industry didn't want you to be famous, you weren't going to be famous. Nowadays, you can start a YouTube channel and post your music in your socials, and you can build up millions of people that love you and want to listen to your music, and you don't need anybody's permission. That's why it's easier than ever. It's a permissionless society now. You don't need anybody's permission. Even with writing a book, you realize 30, 40 years ago, there was no self-publishing. If you couldn't get one of the big publishing companies to, buy your book and to agree to publish it, you weren't getting to be a published author. Nowadays, you can write a book faster than ever on your computer, and you can self-publish it. You can create the graphics for the cover. You can do everything. You can edit it. Like, it's never been easier to create passive income streams. And so once again, I know that not everybody is going to be interested in my passive income streams, but I do want to share them with you so that if you see something valuable and you like it and you like what you see, you can get more information about it and make your own decision. And with that, guys, I got to run. I got to get out of here. This went way longer than I meant for it to, but hopefully you guys got some good value out of today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And once again, let's get together. All of you guys that messaged me a 1 in the chat, shoot me a text saying mastermind, and maybe give me a couple of times during the week, day or night, that would be good for you to be able to hop on a call for, probably 30 minutes to an hour. We don't want to take up a bunch of people, a lot of time, but let's get on a call once a week for 30 minutes to an hour and really, create this mastermind group, a group of guys and gals that care about each other, that are all helping each other. And, let's create some freedom, some passive income streams in 2026. You guys are welcome. Welcome, Pablo. Good to see you. Welcome. You're welcome, Dave, man. Thank you for being here. God bless each and every one of you. I love you all. I appreciate you very much for spending some time with me today, and bless you. I hope you have a wonderful Monday. We'll see you tomorrow morning, same time, same place, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for the Tuesday Trader live stream. With that, folks, bye-bye for now.